Hey guys, thanks for cooking with Tammy. Today I'm going to show you how to make my delicious Ferrero Rocher red velvet cupcakes. The ingredients that we're going to need to make our festive cupcakes are 2 1/3 cups of cake flour, 1 1/2 cups of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, 8 to 10 Ferrero Rocher chocolates, 1 teaspoon of distilled vinegar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, 1 stick of unsalted butter, as well as 2 eggs, 1 1/2 tablespoons of red food coloring, 1 cup of buttermilk, and for our utensils we're going to need a handheld mixer, as well as a cupcake pan, cupcake liners, and 2 mixing bowls. First things first, let's preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So with that being said guys, let's get started with our festive cupcakes. Alright guys, so we're going to start by taking our room temperature butter and adding it to our bowl as well as our granulated sugar. Using a handheld mixer or stand mixer, we're going to combine both ingredients until it's well incorporated. After about 3 to 4 minutes of mixing, we're going to add the eggs. However, we're going to add 1 egg at a time while continuing to mix. As you can see, after adding the eggs, the texture is more light and fluffy, and that's the texture that we're going for. So at this point in time, I'm going to stop the mixing process and move on to working with my dry ingredients. Taking our strainer and placing it into the second bowl, we're going to add our cake flour, baking soda, salt, baking powder, cocoa powder, and sift all of the ingredients together. I'm going to move on to working with the wet ingredients. Taking the buttermilk, I'm going to add the vanilla extract, as well as the distilled vinegar, red food coloring, and using a small whisk, I'm going to combine all of the ingredients together. Taking my red food coloring buttermilk mixture, I'm going to add it to my granulated sugar and butter mixture that I set aside. Using my handheld mixer, I'm going to combine all of the ingredients together. Now that everything is combined, I'm going to take my dry ingredients and add it to my wet ingredients. Be sure to add about a cup at a time of dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. Also, when combining the flour, be sure not to overmix because we don't want to activate the gluten inside of the flour, which would cause our cupcakes to become hardened. Be sure to use your spatula to remove any unmixed ingredients from the side of the bowl, pushing it back into the center. Our batter is now ready, and using my spatula once more, I'm going to make sure all of the ingredients are combined. I will say that using the cake flour, it gives the batter such a lighter, fluffier texture. Using an ice cream scooper, scoop a small amount of cake batter into the cake liner, followed by placing a Ferrero Rocher chocolate into the center, and taking a small amount of cake batter once again and placing it on top of the chocolate, assuring that the chocolate is covered. Be sure not to place too much cake batter into the cupcake liner, or your cupcakes will come out looking more like muffins than cupcakes. After about 18 to 22 minutes, our cupcakes are now finished baking. Be sure to allow the cupcakes to cool in the pan for about a minute. After a minute, place it onto a wire rack and allow it to cool completely. I've decided that a cream cheese frosting would definitely complement our Ferrero Rocher red velvet cupcakes. The ingredients that we're going to need for this delicious frosting is so simple. All we're going to need is an 8-ounce package of cream cheese, 1 to 2 cups of confectioner's sugar, a half a cup of whipping cream, and a couple drops of pure vanilla extract. Placing the cream cheese into the bowl first, and then placing the powdered sugar, I'm going to combine both ingredients until it becomes incorporated, followed by adding the whipping cream. Mixing continuously, I'm going to incorporate all of the ingredients until it becomes smooth and creamy in texture. After about 3 to 4 minutes of mixing on high speed, our cream cheese frosting is now ready. And as you can see guys, this cream cheese frosting is beautifully light and fluffy, and this is definitely what we're going for. At this point in time, using a large spoon, I'm going to spoon the frosting into a piping bag. Taking the cupcakes, I'm going to pipe the frosting onto the cupcake. And of course, this wouldn't be considered the holidays if I didn't amp it up a little bit more. So what I did was I took about maybe 3 Ferrero Rocher chocolates, placed it into a Ziploc bag, and I crushed it up. And once I'm finished putting the frosting on top, I'm going to add the chocolate pieces on top of the frosting. Absolutely gorgeous, guys. And if that wasn't festive enough, I decided to add a maraschino cherry on top to enhance the beauty of this cupcake even more. This cupcake is a delicious treat with a surprise in the middle. As always guys, thanks for cooking with Tammy. Subscribe to stay updated with all of my latest videos. And most of all, happy holidays.